Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, my friends. In this presentation, I will discuss about analysis material. Before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Zahra Nabilah Maulani, and you can call me Zahra. My number are 210603110075, and I'm from Chemistry B. First, water and wastewater analysis material. Sampling is collecting a certain volume of water to be studied in as little amount as possible, but still able to represent and have the same properties. The sampling strategy is carried out by how the water sample that we analyze does not change when it is analyzed in order to have the appropriate data. Sampling is divided into 3 steps, namely, number 1, representative sampling. Representative sampling is someone who does something officially for another person or group of people to take a sample, to take a sampling. Number 2, transport and preservation of samples. It is how to keep the sample between when a new sample is taken and maintain it when it is brought in for analysis. Number 3, chemical analysis of samples. This is to analyze, we can use chemical parameters or physical parameters. Preparation of sampling and preservation bottles used to take samples must be cleaned and rinsed with distilled water first, and if taking samples using bottles of pipes that have been used for samples that must be cleaned first, so as not to be contaminated. We avoid metals such as iron, brass, bones, so that they are not contaminated and can affect the water being tested. If the sample is organic, then do not use containers made of plastic or rubber. Taking samples at a certain depth is done by providing a closed bottle that can open when it reaches the desired depth and using a type of pump that sucks. Automatic samples. Automatic samples is a special tool for consecutive sampling. Part of the automatic sample are, number 1, suction pipe. The depth of the sampling point is limited to about 5 meters below the tool. Number 2, pump. Number 3, hours. Hours is to control the sampling frequency. Number 4, tool for dividing samples into bottles. And number 5, isothermic box. Isothermic box containing bottles of mixed sample by cooling by ordinary ice or dry ice, so that sample preservation can be carried out no later than 1 day before being brought to the laboratory. Disturbance sample. Disturbance sample that may arise during sample storage and transport. Number 1, gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide can be absorbed by the sample water or can disappear from the sample water into the air. Number 2, suspended substances and colloid. Can suspended substances and colloid can form their own flock and can settle so that the sample becomes different from the original state. Number 3, the mud must be, at least the mud must be resuspended evenly. Number 4, substances and liquid. They are like can float in water. And last, number 5, some solutes can be oxidized by dissolved oxygen so that it turns into other compounds. Next, number 2 is analytical contamination. Contamination is the entry of unwanted compounds into the sample during the sample pre-treatment process and during analysis. The simplest way to avoid atmospheric contamination is to cover the sample solution during the preparation and analysis process. Contamination of the glass caused by attack. Other preparation equipment that is frequently used and has a lower probability of metal contamination is number 1, fused silica or quartz. Number 2, plastics or polyethylene and polypropylene. Number 3, Teflon or tetrafluoroethylene polymer. And number 4, PVC or polyvinyl chloride. Number 5, rubber. And number 6, filter paper. The reduced metal contamination in water. It needs to be passed first into the ion exchange resin Coulomb, or at least two distillations are carried out. Next, number 3 is region contamination. Region contamination can be grouped into 4, namely, number 1, mineral acids and ammonia. Mineral acids and ammonia contain certain amounts of metals. Ammonia solution in water placed in a glass bottle will be contaminated by silica, aluminum, calcium, and other elements. Number 2, inorganic solids. Inorganic solids is the quality of the region is usually pure enough to be used directly without pre-purification, but the blank solution as a control. Number 3, organic region. Organic region is reactive to metals. Usually use such small quantities that contamination can often be neglected, but caution is necessary. Number 4, organic solvents. Organic solvents, which must be watched out for, is the presence of other organic compounds dissolved in the solvent, because they usually use spectrometric determinations. Analytical loss factors. At the preparation stage, the separation and determination of the analyte can be obtained from the sample solution by the following factors. Number one, adsorption. Adsorption can be from the container, protection equipment from the analyzer. Number two, volatilization or evaporate, usually done for the determination of metal concentrations in organic or inorganic materials, and must also be considered about the vapor point of the metal we are analyzing. And the last, number three, co-precipitation or settling. Usually settles because we have stored it for a few days. So that it returns to normal, we can shake or add acid to make it a homogeneous solution so that what we measure does not settle. That's all of my resume. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.